Welcome to the Fertility Mind podcast. I am your host, Jessica Friesen, a certified fertility mindset coach, a sound healer, and an international best-selling author. My mission for this podcast is to give you weekly episodes where you hear my own success with IVF and how mindset and manifestation changed it all for me. You will also hear from my guests who share their success stories in the fertility world. I want you to know that you are not alone. Even when things feel tough and when things feel like they aren't going your way, the tools and techniques you will get in this podcast, I know can change everything for you too. So thanks for being here with me today, and let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back. Today I'm talking about forgiveness and fear. How I really believe that forgiveness is a very impactful tool, and how when you choose forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of your fertility journey, and forgiveness of your body, and then choose to go whatever level of forgiveness that you want to go, will change the way you show up in your daily routine. It will change the way you make decisions. It will change your beliefs. It will change how you can bless and release things. It will change your frequencies and vibrations. And it will allow you to be more open to receive whatever it is that you want to receive. And I really believe that forgiveness is so important for yourself. When you think of if you're trying to forgive someone, you think, well, I'm doing it for them. No, you're doing it for yourself. And I say that because you're the one that's holding on to the situation or the emotion or the grudge, but you're holding the negative energy in your body and you're holding on to that trigger. So when you forgive yourself and you choose forgiveness and you forgive the situation, the person, whatever it may be, you're allowing yourself to let this stagnant energy move from your body, and you will make decisions differently when you come in contact with this person again, if you come in contact with this person again, or this situation, or this fertility clinic, or this fertility doctor. And I want you to really understand how forgiveness is so important. Before I went on my secondary journey, I had started learning about beliefs, and I started learning because I was studying the universal laws. I was really studying me. I was really understanding who I was and how I wanted to show up versus how I was showing up. And I really started to understand forgiveness. And I wanted to forgive my first fertility journey before I went on to a new one, because I understood that the beliefs that I held from my first fertility journey were going to very much be like spaghetti and be intertwined into my second one if I did not forgive what happened in my first one. And forgiveness can be part of everything. Forgiving yourself for not showing up the way you want to. Forgive yourself if you compared your fertility journey to someone else. Forgive yourself if you feel resentment or jealousy to someone else. Forgive yourself if you feel like you're not enough. Whatever emotions that you are holding, I want you to forgive yourself. Then eventually I want you to forgive your body. And eventually I want you to forgive your whole entire fertility journey and go to as deep of forgiveness as that you're willing to go. And then when you feel like you've done enough, go deeper. And I also want to talk to you about fear. When I thought about healing from my fertility journey, there was a lot of fear. And when I wanted to heal from past relationships and past experiences and past emotional impacts, big or small, fear came up. Because again, I'll repeat this in every episode, our minds are the most powerful things. So it is designed to create a blockage. If you've had a big or a small trauma, anything, it could be someone in the schoolyard telling you, you know what, you're ugly, or you know what, you're dumb at 5 years old. And that put an emotional impact. That's now a trigger for you. So your mind blocks it. It can completely block you from remembering anything. If it's a really big trauma, your mind can actually do things to make you forget it so that you don't, but your body still holds the emotional traumas. So go back. You can really go back. Um, and there's people and there's places and things that you can do that if you don't want to do that on your own. Um, but the importance of healing, and for anyone that is past their fertility journey, heal from your journey, because how you hold the trauma in your body, it does play a factor in your beliefs. It does play a factor in your decision making. It does play a factor in how you show up and operate every day in your daily routine. And where fear steps in is the fear of, if I heal or if I relive any of those things, I'm going to feel the trauma. I'm going to feel the pain. I'm going to feel all of this all over again. And I've done such a great job of pushing it down and not dealing with it because I don't need to deal with it. It's a past part of my life. And so it be. I'm here to tell you, you should heal. I'm telling you that being able to forgive your fertility journey and being able to bless and release and flip the perspective to the point that you, not that you forgot your memory, but that you can let it go, that it does not trigger you. I have always been an open book, and I was very open talking to people about my fertility journey from day one. I never felt embarrassed that I was on a fertility journey, but I did shame my body because it wasn't working the way society said it should, that I should, I'm young and healthy, so I should get pregnant easily. And I felt like I was behind because all of my friends were building their family. And in a sense, I was light years ahead because I already had 3 stepdaughters in my house. But the gaping hole in my heart of, I love being a stepmom, but I've always wanted to be a biological mom myself. And, there's emotional impacts of being a stepmom as well. That's for another day, another story. Um, but I always wanted to know what it was like to be a mom and feel a baby or babies in my tummy and, feel all of the pregnancy emotions and know what it was like to create life for me and for my husband. Healing from that journey, I could openly talk about it, but there was a lot of triggers when I talked about miscarriage, when I talked about my cycle being canceled, when I talked about the dwindling hope, when I talked about feeling like I wasn't enough, that this wasn't working for me, shaming my body. Those brought back tears. I was choked up. It was hard to talk about, but I was willing to talk about it. But I wasn't willing to talk about it in a healing sense. It was more so just me telling my story. And I went on this healing journey because I thought, if I'm going to do this all over again, I don't want all of these triggers coming into my present secondary fertility journey that I'm about to start. And the fear of opening myself up. And in recent years, when I decided to go on a very deep dive healing journey, forgiving people, forgiving situations, forgiving a lot of things, fear was so present. Fear had, I wouldn't say a death grip, but almost a death grip on me of, no, you don't want to feel those things again. You've blocked it. No, I'm okay. But no, I wasn't okay because I had constant triggers. And I even had tools and techniques to use, but I wasn't using them. And I had to ask myself, what belief am I holding to not let me use these tools that are present right now? So why did I decide to go on this intense healing journey? Because the triggers that kept happening over and over and over again, like I said, it changed the way I made decisions. I made decisions based out of fear versus based out of faith and love. I made decisions that, I was holding a belief. I was still holding a belief that I knew I was enough to be a mom. I knew I was enough to do certain things, but that feeling of not enough was creeping its way back in. And I was asking myself why these triggers were still present. I thought about my day-to-day routine and how I changed things based off of if I was triggered or not. And I can tell you from everyone that I see in social media fertility groups, my clients, people that I've just interacted with, you have emotional impacts. And those emotional impacts, when you think about where you are on your fertility journey, think about your first day, excited when you were getting ready to start your family with your partner, or if you had to start out in a fertility clinic, think about how excited you were for your consultation with your fertility clinic. Wherever your starting point was, think about that excitement. Think about the nerves. Think about all of that. And then you've experienced a loss or a failed transfer, a canceled cycle, whatever you were feeling. You know that emotional impact. You know that crushing feeling. You know that well. And now think about, because you have that new belief and you have that emotional impact, how you made decisions based off of the next time. Were you reserved? Was fear very present in that? That's why forgiveness is so, so, so important, especially on your fertility journey. If you're in the thick of things right now, if you're gearing up to start a new medical protocol, you're gearing up to see a new fertility doctor, you are gearing up for wherever you are. I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to forgive yourself if you don't show up perfect every day. I want you to give yourself love and grace. But most importantly, forgive yourself for any shaming that you've done. Forgive your body for not producing your family right now. And that can be incredibly tough. And I don't want to steer you to believe that it's going to be tough. But again, it's unique to you. You know your emotional impacts. Some people, it's easier because their emotional impacts have been less. If you've been on your fertility journey for 10 years, those emotional impacts are very, very present. And for you to say forgiving your body after loss, after loss, after loss, that's not easy for some people. And I'm being so brutally honest. But when you sit and forgive yourself and prepare yourself so that you can change your beliefs, that you know that the next cycle or procedure or clinic or doctor that you're gearing up to do is a brand new cycle. When you think about the emotional impacts and the stagnant energy that's stuck inside of you because of your fear, because of your beliefs, I want to be able to help you release that. I want you to be able to go in with fresh eyes, not, experienced eyes that has experienced all the things that you've experienced and the fear that you have felt. When you forgive yourself, you feel so much lighter. When you forgive people or the circumstances or the situations, you feel lighter. I'm trying to be very politically correct while I'm on here. But my first fertility clinic, when it closed and I was in the middle of fertility treatments, and there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of unknowns, there was a lot of scary times. And I just thought, oh my goodness, what is happening? I forgave that part because I thought, you know what? This got me to where I am and got me to the doctor that I have now. I didn't question why I was put here or why we were referred to this clinic and why it closed and how we got here. I really started changing that belief when I was forgiving of the universe really has my back. I can't explain why I had to go on these things or experience these things the way that I did, but it has allowed me to get to where I am right now. It has steered me in the right direction. And I also started to understand how powerful my beliefs are and how when you try and control everything, you are siphoning a hose to the universe or God, creator, spirit, because you're saying it has to be done my way, this way. And even though you may not be doing that intentionally, that's exactly what you're doing. When you force things, when it goes against alignment with the things that you want, but you're just forcing it because you want what you want when you want it right now, that's siphoning the hose. And I chose, when I was forgiving myself and I was forgiving my body and I was forgiving my fertility journey, I really started to say, you know what? I forgive myself because every decision that I made at that moment in time was the right decision for me. And it got me to where I was. Did I force things? Oh, probably yes. And instead of holding resentment, or instead of holding anger or whatever emotions that I was holding, I wanted to let go of these emotions. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be light. I wanted to not hold the guilt and the blame on me anymore. I was featured in an article about mom guilt because mom guilt was so present with me in my step family life and in my own kids' life. And when I chose to forgive myself, I started to show up differently. And I started saying, this feeling, this holding on to this guilt is not serving me. It changes the way I make decisions. It changes the way I show up every single day. Forgive myself and do better the next day. Forgive myself and understand where my beliefs are so I can change them, so I can become in alignment with the things that I love and the things that I desire and the things that I want. Holding on to resentment for my first fertility clinic and my first fertility doctor was not going to serve me. That was holding a lot of negative energy in my body, even though I could be super excited. The duality of that was insane. I'm so excited to become a mom. I'm so excited to have a baby. I'm so excited for the next cycle we're gearing up for. But that anger and resentment that I felt in my body of like, why am I here? Why? And again, the deeper you go, I really understood it was that I didn't feel that I was enough, that this is my first experience in a fertility clinic. And already, like I've mentioned, I was one of the last ones out of my friends to have kids. And I didn't know anyone that was struggling to get pregnant. I didn't know anyone that had a miscarriage. I didn't know anyone that was in the fertility world. So, as all of these things were happening, and as excited as I was to be where I was, because after learning we weren't going to be able to get pregnant naturally. And again, that could be subject to that clinic, to that doctor, because there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and I don't hold resentment to it. I really spent time forgiving myself. I really spent time forgiving everything and blessing and releasing it and saying, you know what? This clinic, I met some very amazing nurses. This clinic was connected that it got me to the actual my secondary fertility clinic, which is the one where I had my twins and my last baby, my 3 children. It gave me connections to the director of our fertility clinic. He was my doctor, and he's exactly who I needed and wanted. But could my mind have conceived that beforehand? No. I siphoned the hose because I was like, you know what? I didn't do my research. We were referred to a fertility clinic, and that's just where I went. There was no, should I search around? Should I do anything? I was like, no, we were referred here. We're going to go here. We're sticking here. I forgave all of those things. How I showed up when fear took over as well. Again, I'm going to share these things. When my twins were born 2 months early, that feeling of enough, not being enough, was present because I couldn't even have a pregnancy that I brought my babies to full term. The first 6 weeks of their life, we were in a hospital. And for 10 days, one of my babies was in a hospital and one was at home with me. And the guilt was so insane. I started to forgive all of those things as well. So the big forgiveness healing journey started years after, when I was gearing up to have our last baby, my second pregnancy. And I've since then gone on an even deeper healing journey, because I can see how when I forgive myself, the lighter I feel, the better I show up, the more connected I am to my goals, the more I am aligned to the best version of me. Whereas when I hold guilt, when I hold all of these things towards my body, towards, life in general, that's why forgiveness is such an impactful tool. When I started healing, I noticed people were responding different to me. And when I had my belief coding session, Vicky said to me, she said, Jessica, people are going to start responding differently to you again because your energy is now changed. Even though nothing changed about me, I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything differently. My energy had changed because there was a piece that was very stagnant and stuck inside of me, and I could feel it. That I truly believe healers need healers, doctors need doctors, lawyers need lawyers. And in my sound healing background, I knew that there was stagnant energy and I was trying to release it, but I was resisting it for some reason. I didn't know why. So I went and I found Vicky. She was on last week's episode. She was a belief coder. And the most amazing thing is she talked to me about, something happened to me when I was 5. I don't know what that was. My mind was still blocking it. But as we were doing the session, I felt lighter and lighter and lighter, and I forgave. It was all about forgiveness. I was forgiving myself at 5 years old when you don't have the tools of forgiveness or big picture thinking or that very developed brain. I went back and I loved her and I talked to her. And, I feel differently. And my husband even said to me, he's like, something's changed. He's like, I know physically nothing has changed. He said, but something changed. And I said, it's forgiveness. I forgave something. I still don't know what it was, but I spent time putting love and energy in that. And yes, I will go deeper to the point that I do find out what that was. But everyone around me, my kids responded differently to me. And just things felt so different. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is incredible. That is what forgiveness is. So I'm telling you right now, if you're on your fertility journey, start to forgive yourself. If you think of, what you did in your childhood and then your teen years and maybe your early adulthood, if you are blaming anything of your past that might put you where you are right now, I don't want you to spend time thinking about what if that way. I want you to say, you know what, everything that you went through right now and in the past got you to where you are right now. It got you to the point where you've had enough that you're listening to my podcast, or maybe you're reaching out and you're one of my clients. It got you to where you needed to be, that you were willing to grow and expand and change your perspective or change your mind, be more open to receive. When you're blocked, whether you're aware of it or not, you're not as open to receive. When I started in my first fertility journey, when I started listening to, Rhonda Byrne, I started listening to The Power and to The Secret. That was game changing for me. I started becoming open to receive because I was focusing on gratitude. I was focusing on sending love to everyone that I saw that was pregnant at any age. I was focusing on saying, you know what, I'm so excited, and sending love to you. And I hope that you truly have a blessed life, because I know that when I get to be here, I want people to feel the same for me. Those were my thoughts. I was changing my thoughts. I was no longer focusing on this isn't working for me, the fear of the money, the fear of what if I never get to be a biological mom, all the emotions, the fear of not being worthy and not being enough. I focused my thoughts on what I wanted. And when I took time to forgive myself, I became even more open. And the more time I go deeper and deeper and deeper and practice forgiveness, this doesn't have to be a one-time thing. You can forgive certain people, certain situations, certain circumstances, yourself, and feel like you've done a good job. And then you're triggered with something else and think, okay. So instead of feeling frustrated or upset, just say, you know what, universe, thank you for showing me that this is the next thing I get to do. I get excited. I get excited for healing journeys because I think I'm becoming that much lighter. And I think now, because I'm understanding my beliefs and how powerful my mind is and how much I control and how much energy my body produces and how I can change my frequency and vibration. Because if you hold resentment to yourself or to someone else, to your body, even though you can put yourself on a higher vibration by being so excited for the next thing that you're gearing up to, your frequency still knows. It still knows that lower vibration. It still knows that you're tuned into that feeling of not enough, or you're tuned into that you don't really believe that your body is working for you. You believe that your body is horrible because you've had loss after loss, or failed transfers that the babies just aren't sticking, or maybe you've even been told you have a hostile uterus. I can tell you, I could spend hours and hours talking to you about the emotions that you can go through, and you're listening to this and you know your emotions. Listen to your emotions and change your beliefs around them. And I know some of you are going to sit here and say to me, how do I change my belief around my body that my body is perfect, or that my body knows what it's doing when it is not doing what it's supposed to do? Trust and lean into faith. Faith that everything is working out exactly the way it needs to work out. Faith that you were in the right place at the right time. Faith that the universe is conspiring you. And sit with things before you make a quick haste decision on things. Because sometimes when you make that quick haste decision because you so badly want to get pregnant, yes, I'll just go to the next round. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sit with it. Some people choose to take a cycle off. In my first fertility journey, I did not take a cycle off. When I was told I had no choice, I had to, that was something different. But I would just go round after round after round. And I was like, I'll push this down. It's fine. I'll mentally prepare. Once I'm pregnant, then I can deal with it. I can tell you now, becoming a sound healer later, and now after studying the universal laws and understanding my energy and frequencies and vibrations and beliefs and how it all changes my body, yeah, I pushed a lot of things down and I was not dealing with them. But I want you to know, forgive yourself right now. Forgive yourself because now you know slightly better. Now you can choose to change your thoughts. Now you can choose to do anything that's better than what you've been doing so far. I never want you to blame yourself, and I never want you to blame your body, and I don't want you to blame your partner or your circumstance or your situation, especially if it's been a diagnosis. Because the more you lean into that diagnosis, I tell all my clients, give yourself medical amnesia. Stop telling yourself you've endometriosis, or you have PCOS, or you have a low AMH, which is your follicle count, that you just have bad hereditary genes. Stop telling yourself that over and over and over again. Start finding free masterclasses or webinars. Do different things. Read personal development books that can get your mind steering. Reach out to me. I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to forgive your body, and I want you to forgive your fertility journey this far. I want you to go into your next cycle, procedure, whatever it is, appointment, with cleaner, happier, healthier eyes. I want you to understand the power that you hold within yourself. I want you to understand how fear can have a death grip on people. I want you to understand that when you choose to forgive yourself, you show up differently and you actually physically feel lighter. You're not bogged down with all of these emotions. You're not bogged down with nothing is working for me. I don't want you to feel the fear. And I will tell you, every client that I've had will tell me what is exactly when fear starts to present itself. It shows up in many different ways. And I tell my clients, you have the tools. I tell them exactly what to do. And I say, fear will always be present. And fear, you can start to view fear as a great thing. If you're scared, so let's go to a big goal. If you're scared of achieving that goal, that means you're pretty much on the right track. Because if it seems easy, then you're not stretching yourself to a point that you're going to be so excited to do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So if you're fearing your fertility journey, that you're spending money, or you fear that you're too old, don't fear those things. Just say, you know what? Miracles happen every day. The universe creates and conspires to give you everything that you want when you're open. And that's where forgiveness takes place. You may feel like you're open, you may want to be open, but you may actually be so closed off because the fear is holding you back from doing everything. It's in your decisions, it's in your daily routine, it's everywhere. When you forgive yourself, when you stop blaming yourself or stop shaming yourself or stop shaming your body, I believe that the universe has infinite ways of giving you what you want. But we don't know those infinite ways because we live with our five senses. And we create our environment based off of our five senses. I encourage my clients and anyone that I have open conversations with, what is it that you want? Connect with your desires and forgive yourself for where you are right now. You didn't have these tools. So, when you look back at a situation and say, oh, I probably would have done that differently. Well, you now know the outcome. When you're in the thick of something, you don't know the outcome. So focus on what it is that you want and you become more open. Forgive yourself for being on a fertility journey. Even if you are the one that has the medical diagnosis and your partner doesn't, forgive yourself. Maybe you were born with it. That's not your fault. Forgive yourself for being on this fertility journey. Forgive your body. Trust and believe that you can have what you want and what you desire. Make decisions based off of knowing that you're going to have what you want and desire in the family that you want. Because when you're making decisions based out of fear, based out of your beliefs, and based out of the things that you tell yourself daily, you will create that environment. And I know that's really hard to hear. Please trust me. I know how hard that is to hear because I have been in many situations that I very much resisted and said, I did not ask for this. When you try and tell me I did, I just want to shut you out because I'll tell you, no. I spent time forgiving myself. I spent time forgiving these people, these situations, these things, and thinking, no one knows what you're going through, only you do. Even fellow IVF warriors like myself. I only know my fertility journey. I have the tools that I can teach you so that you can change the outcome of your fertility journey, that you can change the outcome of your life. You can change everything about you. And that's why I love doing what I do, because I can give you those tools. I didn't have all of these tools when I was on my first fertility journey. I didn't really understanding the full feeling and healing and, forgiveness until later in life. I did what I thought I needed to do to forgive from when I prepared myself for my secondary fertility journey. But the more I understand forgiveness and the more that I grow and expand and my awareness gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I understand how much deeper I want to go with forgiveness. I want to be so connected with and my goals and in such alignment with my goals of helping everyone that I know and meet create their desired life. I want you listening right now to have your desired life. I would love to give you the tools. And that's why I do my podcast. As many free things that I can give you out there, I want to give you because you are worthy. And I want you to forgive yourself because when you don't forgive yourself, you can live in fear. Fear is so present. You can live in resentment. You can live in so many different emotions that are not ones that are serving you. I want you to have what you desire. Yes, it takes work. I'm here to give you the tools. I am here to give you the tools that you need and desire to create this desired life for you. I truly have spent time with forgiveness. I let go of fear, but I'll tell you, fear still shows up in my life often. And the way I respond to it differently now, and the way I choose to look at certain aspects of fear, of, okay, I'm clearly on the right path because I'm pushing myself to something that makes me so nervous. And I tell myself I get to create my desired self that I want to step into the next level, the next version of me. Forgiveness is a big part of that. I had to forgive my fertility journey. I had to forgive both of it. I had to do the work. I want you to know you can have the things that you desire. I want you to have the tools that you can make the best decisions for you and your desired family, and for your current family, whether it's your spouse or your partner, or maybe you're choosing to do this solo. Wherever you are on your fertility journey, forgive yourself, forgive your body, and forgive your fertility journey and your emotional impacts thus far. Don't let fear stop you from doing anything. I want you to know you can have the things. But when you connect to a diagnosis, or you connect to fear, or you connect to a strong belief that, you know what, I just don't think this is going to happen for me, that is your energy and that is your vibration that you are putting out there. So forgive yourself for having those feelings and thoughts. Forgive yourself for everything that you want to forgive yourself. But please give yourself love and light and grace. And when I say give yourself grace, I truly mean you are going through a lot. If you show up doing your homework or practicing gratitude or anything once a week, that's far better than none. What if you do it 3 times a week versus 0 times or versus 1? I want you to connect with what you want and know that it's safe. When I was asked, do I believe that it's safe to let go of this energy? Do I believe that it's safe to heal? Do I believe that I am safe in every area of my life? My logical brain would have said yes. But what I was truly feeling inside was no. No, I wasn't safe to let this go. Because what if it happens again? I felt that in many areas of my life, and specifically on my fertility journey as well. When I changed the belief that I am safe, when I changed the belief that it's okay to heal, and healing does not let me off the hook, healing is actually allowing my body to prepare and move the stagnant energy and allow myself to be in more of a place to receive and be in alignment and change my frequencies and change my vibrations and change my belief, because I forgave myself and I said, screw you, fear. I'm doing it anyway. Things changed. So please, if anything, forgive yourself for today. If you woke up in a bad mood and you went to work and just the week has gone by and you feel like you haven't been as productive as you wanted to be, you haven't done the things that you wanted to do, or you haven't even focused on gratitude, forgive yourself, but start over. Every day is a new day. Every day is a fresh day. So start over. Every limiting belief that you have, let it go. Tell yourself it's not serving you. When I first started practicing my limiting beliefs and telling myself this thought isn't serving me, I resisted it. I won't sugarcoat anything. But I really started to understand that the more I held on to these limiting beliefs, or the more I kept saying to myself, this thought isn't serving me, I control my thoughts. It was an affirmation. And it's exactly what I started affirming to myself. These thoughts are not serving me, and I'm in control of my thoughts. And I started to know I was feeling differently. I was thinking differently because I was telling myself I'm in control of my thoughts. I was changing that outcome every day. I wasn't reacting to situations. I was now responding to situations. When I went on a healing journey, and I think I'll forever always be on a healing journey, because, you know, even someone that has tools and techniques in my pocket at all times, there are some days that things happen that I don't show up as my best version of myself. If I wake up with a migraine, I may have less patience. I may, you know what, things happen. To spend time beating myself up, I forgive myself for that day. I tell myself the migraine was out of my control, or the flu was out of my control. How I respond now, holding on to this, is I just want to be the best version of myself. I want my clients and everyone listening to this and everyone that comes into my energy or that finds me anywhere or even bigger, anyone that desires to have a family, I want you to have what you want to have. I want you to know the joys. I want you to have what you desire. And you are worthy. You desire this for a reason. You absolutely desire this for a reason. We are meant to have the things that we desire. We are meant to have the things that we desire. So please, even if you can just do it for today, please forgive yourself for today. And the more you practice forgiveness of yourself, the more you practice forgiveness of your body, you can start to forgive your fertility journey this far. You can start to change your beliefs. You can start to see the spaghetti unfolding, the knots untying, because you are forgiving. That allows you to change your beliefs. It allows you to be on a higher vibration and tune your frequency to what it is that you want. I want you to have the things that you desire. And I will repeat this over and over and over again because you deserve it. I hope you have the most beautiful day. And please forgive yourself. Don't let fear stop you from forgiving yourself. I want you to know that you can have all the things that you desire. So allow yourself to start with forgiveness. Have an amazing day. If you found this helpful or know anyone that needs to hear this, please share. And don't forget to leave a review and subscribe. In love and gratitude, Jessica.